Morning, everyone. Welcome to the April 14th, 2026 meeting of Henderson County Fiscal Court. We're glad you're with us, and for those watching online, we're glad you're with us as well. We will begin, as we always do, with an invocation, and Reverend Charles Johnson is going to help lead us in prayer. Please stand.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you so much for this lovely and beautiful day that you have blessed us with as we conduct business today. We asked for guidance and good stewardship. Bless our community, bless our nation, our states, and just bless our world as a whole. And we thank you for so many and so much blessings that oftentimes we forget. Oftentimes we focus on the negative and forget to celebrate the positives in our life. Thank you for this court, for all that they do for our community, the decisions they make to empower and impact the lives of all citizens. And we ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Magistrate Starks is absent. Magistrate Berry. Magistrate Southard.
Here.
Magistrate Tompkins.
Yes, ma'am.
And Magistrate Putman.
Here.
Gentlemen, you have in your packet the minutes of the March 24th, 2026 regular fiscal court meeting. After a period of review, I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any corrections, clarifications, or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is Judge's Scholar time again, and Ella Solwester from Central Academy is our honoree. I'm going to ask her to meet me right up here. She's bringing a VIP guest.
Okay.
Read a proclamation in your honor.
Whereas Ella Solwester has been chosen by Central Academy to be the recipient of the Judge's Scholar Award for exceptional efforts in both academics and school activities, and whereas Ella's hard work and dedication in making the most of educational experiences and developing positive relationships with teachers and other students will lead to future success, and whereas success is measured in many different ways, whether it be passing a test, scoring the winning point, achieving a particular goal, or taking the necessary steps for overall improvement. And whereas the Henderson County school system could not let Ella's efforts go unnoticed, and whereas Henderson County Fiscal Court supports the school system and acknowledges these accomplishments as being significant because students such as Ella will be our future leaders. And now, therefore, I, Brad Schneider, County Judge Executive of Henderson, join with the Henderson County Fiscal Court to proclaim April 14th, 2026 as Ella Solwester Day.
Who are these people? No, I don't.
Oh, yeah, oh, yes,
That's what
yeah.
you're thinking.
She's like,
I want one if you hold this.
oh, no. Don't drop the baby.
Nope. Oh, it doesn't here yet.
First, Maria. Yay.
Good.
One picture.
Oh.
That's why we did it.
Oh, for sure.
All right, how do we do it?
She's good with the camera. Okay. Sit up there.
good natured.
Very.
Yeah,
My
really.
granddaughter would be
Well, if you'd have grabbed one of mine, it'd been screaming.
Okay, so we'll get to join us for the rest of the meeting. Try to make it quick. Congratulations, Ella, and thank you for bringing your daughter with us. And congratulations to your family and school. It's awesome. And of all the people in Central Academy, Ella, you were chosen for this honor. So congratulations. Now you get to wade through the more boring stuff. But Steve Gold will help run play-by-play and also CFO. Nobody's going to be watching me during this meeting. You're all going to be looking over my shoulder. Right. Okay. Next on the agenda is a proclamation. We do this once a year in honor of Child Abuse Prevention Month, and have the great people from Children's Advocacy Center, including Samantha Sigler. Glad you're here. If you want to come up and say a few words, we're going to read a proclamation commemorating this month of helping make the public aware of child abuse issues. So, floor is yours.
After all these years of working in the community together, Judge Snyder knows I like to talk. That's just, no. I just want to say thank you so much again for you guys taking that time to recognize Child Abuse Prevention Month and the importance of recognizing this throughout, not just April, but throughout the year. Our children are our most valuable asset, right? They are the heartbeat of our community. Without them, we would cease to exist, right? And so it is so very important for the work that we do, to be able to help these children through their disclosures and on into their healing journey. And we don't do that alone. We have wonderful people within our DCBS and all of our law enforcements and our county attorney, Steve Gold and his team, and our Commonwealth attorney and his team, and just so many other people with mental health and the Henderson County Schools, and just so many others that do so much for our kids, and we are so grateful for all that they do as well. And so while it is important to take the month of April, we do want to recognize that this is all year long. Children are being abused in our community. Sadly, we wish that they weren't. And we are doing all that we can to support them, but it also starts with prevention. And so Kentucky is a mandated reporter state, and so that means that everyone over the age of 18 has the duty to report. And that means that you don't have to have the actual knowledge of, you just have to have the suspicion, and that in making a good faith report. And so we encourage everyone to continue to be the eyes for our children. If you see something, say something, because you may be saving the life of a child.
Ms. Sigler, can I just ask one thing? Is the numbers on the rise?
So Kentucky they just released the most recent numbers for, then we're always, of course, lagging behind in statistics, of course, but Kentucky is double the national rate of child maltreatment. So while once upon a time we were first, not that we would ever want to be first in anything, but we were first of all 50 states, we are now hanging in around 4th and 5th. So I will tell you that what we see statistically is that every single year, and I've been there almost 9 years, our numbers have only increased. And Henderson, we serve 7 counties, so we serve Henderson. We have a location here in Henderson. We also serve Davis, and so we have a satellite location in Davis County at River Valley Center. We also serve Union, Webster, McLean, Hancock, and Ohio County. So of our 7 counties, our top 3 counties, Henderson is in those top 3. So,
Well, we appreciate everything you do. It looks like it's ongoing. You're not going to be out of work anytime soon, so.
unfortunately,
yeah.
unfortunately, it's a job that you would really love to be worked out of, and so we know that, justice isn't always possible for our children for many different reasons, but what is the most important is that they are seen, heard, and supported throughout.
Well, we
their journey.
appreciate what you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And Magistrate Prutman, I just want to kind of mention something that she mentioned earlier. Kentucky is a mandatory reporting state, right? So it's really easy for some states to be really low in those rankings because they don't require reporting and nobody reports anything. So it's good that things are being reported in Kentucky, but that does show the rate at which, these things are happening. So it's a double-edged sword. People a lot of times will wring their hands about where Kentucky ranks in that, but if it wasn't being reported, that's an even bigger problem. So it's one of those things when I hear people talk about where Kentucky ranks in that, there's a silver lining to that, and that's that it's being reported. So see what I'm saying?
It's almost like they're two different systems here,
Right,
in a play.
right.
Yeah.
Like if a state wanted to be at the bottom of that list, they could be.
Yeah.
But that still wouldn't make for better outcomes for children. And so since Kentucky is a mandatory reporting state and they've made it pretty easy to anonymously report, more things do get reported. And
Absolutely.
The fact they're reported and investigated is a very good thing.
Yes, and you can make a report, whether that be calling the 1-800 Kentucky hotline for child abuse. Those can also be made to centralized intake, and there's also online reporting, keeping in mind that if a child is in immediate danger, that you need to call 911. So,
Thank you, Mr. Gold.
So Samantha will read the proclamation and give you a copy.
Whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem in our society, affecting every segment of Henderson County, and whereas our children are our most valuable resources and will shape the future of Henderson County and the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and whereas child abuse is considered one of our nation's most serious public health problems, and scientific studies documenting the link between the abuse and neglect of children and a wide range of medical, emotional, psychological, and behavioral disorders, and whereas child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse. Every child is entitled to be loved, cared for, nurtured, feel secure, and be free from verbal, sexual, emotional, and physical abuse and neglect. And whereas it is the responsibility of every adult who comes in contact with a child to protect that child's inalienable right to a safe and nurturing childhood, and whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships created between social service agencies, schools, health, community, and faith-based organizations, law enforcement agencies, businesses, and families. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that create strong and thriving children and families, because prevention remains the best defense for our children and families. Now, therefore, I, Brad Schneider, by virtue of the authority vested in me as County Judge Executive of the County of Henderson, Kentucky, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2026 as Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month.
Again, thank you for all you do and your team at the Children's Advocacy Center. We appreciate it very much. Next on the agenda is an appointment, two reappointments to the County Board of Zoning Adjustment. Both longtime member Dickie Johnson and relatively new member Andy Rideout. Their current terms are expiring, and having consulted with them, I'd like to appoint them for a new 4-year term each. And again, that's Andy Rideout and Dickie Johnson, and I'll need fiscal court approval for that. Get a motion to that effect?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Too late, too late. Next is a resolution approving our participation in yet another chapter in the opioid settlements across the nation, of which we receive some of the settlement funding. And this one is called the Remnant Defendant Opioid Settlement, and reviewed by Mr. Gold. Any further comments?
Yes, so they call these remnant defendants because when they get into these things and they untangled all the webs, they kept finding more and more companies that were involved. And some of these are smaller ones that were either subsidiaries or spin-offs or somehow involved in the distribution of opioids and over-distribution of opioids. There are 6 defendants: Associated Pharmacies, J.M. Smith Corporation, Morris and Dixon, Louisiana Wholesale Drug Company, North Carolina Mutual, and United Natural Foods. So this is a final settlement with each of those, and we've reached out to our attorneys that have been leading the way on this and representing most of the cities and counties in the state, and they recommend that the fiscal court approve this settlement.
So we have to opt into this, and that's why we have a resolution. And in lieu of reading the whole thing, I see if anybody just like for us to read a summary at the top there. It's pretty simple.
Summary would be great, yeah.
Resolution authorizing participation in the Remnant Defendant Opioid Settlement Agreement.
You get a motion?
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions about that? Basically, bottom line is we'll be receiving even more funds for opioid abatement, prevention, and other ways to help within the guidelines set by the federal government in the settlement. So, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next in your packet is an agreement between the county and the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. We've had several meetings about maintenance on both roundabouts, both on 2nd Street and on 60, as well as the detention basins that are now built beside the new portion of I-69 that you see as you drive from the end of I-69 up to 60. And both the city and the county agreed to take this over because especially for the roundabout landscaping and mowing, you know that the state mows on their own schedule, and sometimes that's maybe 6 times a summer. We're lucky. And both the city and the county want to keep our roundabout areas looking good, presentable, because there'll be major exits on the interstate. So partnering with the city and the Flood Mitigation Board, we're in the process of bidding out mowing contracts that will help us maintain those and keep them looking good. And they're certainly due right now up on 60. So this agreement formalizes that. Again, says we've got this, don't worry about it, KYTC, and we'll do it on our own schedule, and we will protect the structures there and the new curbs and all that to the best of our ability. And Nick Stallings and Buzzy Newman and the mayor, we both met multiple times on this, and we think that's the best way to go. And we can afford to do it contractually instead of devoting county mowers, which spend the summer hitting the parks over and over and over again. This is an easier way to do it for us, I think. So, any questions about that? Okay, I will have Madam Clerk read this agreement.
This maintenance agreement and consent and release made and entered into this 14th day of April 2026 by and between the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Department of Highways, District 2, hereinafter referred to as the state, and the County of Henderson. Whereas the state owns certain right-of-way located in Henderson County, and Henderson County desires the state to construct 3 roundabouts with landscaping features at the US 60 interchange and I-69. And whereas Henderson County will assume all responsibility for the general maintenance of all landscaping features of 3 roundabouts located in the state right-of-way, and wherefore the state consents to Henderson County taking responsibility for the general maintenance of aforementioned landscaping plots located in the state right-of-way. Now therefore, in consideration of the mutual covenants and agreements set forth below, the parties agree as follows. The Henderson County is responsible for the general maintenance, including but not limited to mowing, trimming, and weed control on the state's right-of-way, subject to this agreement in the area shown on attached Exhibit A. 2, Henderson County shall not modify in any manner the state's right-of-way subject to this agreement without first seeking prior written approval from the state. 3, Henderson County is to assume all responsibility and further agrees to indemnify and hold harmless the state from any claim, action, or incident arising from the state or nature of the general maintenance of the state's right-of-way pursuant to the agreement. 4, this agreement may be canceled by either of the parties hereto and at any time upon written notice thereof. Upon cancellation, the landscaped areas which are the subject of this agreement are to be returned to their natural or their original condition or left in a condition such that only routine maintenance of the areas will be required by the state. Upon cancellation, the state will determine the extent of reasonable steps necessary to complete the remediation to return the area to a condition acceptable to the state, and Henderson County will be solely responsible for the cost of any restoration and remediation required. 5, the state may modify the right-of-way subject to this agreement for the purpose of public safety. In witness thereof, the parties hereto have executed this agreement as the day and year first written above.
Before we take a vote, a reminder that the landscaping inside the traffic circles up on 60 will be getting signs and low-maintenance landscaping on the dime of the states as part of the project, but that money won't be available until Section 2 begins, the actual building of the bridge. So we're going to leave it in native grasses until that Section 2 building begins and they release the funds. And we'll have, I think, we talked about signage similar to what the city has to make it a little bit more uniform, but with some things that make it unique to the county, because that will be the first exit people can take coming across the bridge. So having a good welcome kind of, landscape signage, things are what we're hoping for. But until Section 2 starts, we have to wait for that money to be freed up. So just so you know. So you heard the resolution. Can we get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any other questions?
The city votes on this tonight. The city will vote on this tonight as well.
Yes, I would say so, for their portion, yep. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Lindsay, I skipped over you. And I apologize, but the floor is yours now. I apologize for that, but thank you for coming.
Mr. Wyson asked if I would come and speak about Central Academy, because I think that Central Academy is still viewed as the school for bad kids. And we have a lot more offerings than that. I did bring the copy, what you guys can see. I brought you each a copy of all the programs that we have, that we offer at Central Academy. Again, I'm Lindsay Thompson, the principal.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Very proud principal. So we do have our behavior students still that are sent to Central Academy, and you'll see in the green, we get students from, we are 6 through 12, grades 6 through 12, and we get students from North Middle School, South Middle School, and the high school. They get sent for a myriad of different behavior issues. Our largest in the high school right now are policy violations. Those are students that come to school under the influence and or bring something to school with them. And so we get a lot of those. That's an issue that we've been dealing with the past couple of years. Generally, our middle school students that get sent to us are behaviors, just a continuation of behaviors, fights, things like that. So those students stay with us for 20 or 45 days, depending on the severity of their behavior, and then they go back to their home school. We've been working really hard to prevent recidivism with those students because their best option for success is being at their home school. There's many other, they have a lot of options and more opportunities at their home schools. So we work really closely with the schools to transition those students and hopefully find a way that they don't want to come back to Central. It doesn't always happen. The middle schools have a max of 12 each students that they can send, and the high school has 45. The math doesn't math, but that's okay. Then we also have a BRC program. That's our behavior resource class. We used to have a middle school room. At one point we had an elementary classroom. Those are the most severe students, behaviorally, special ed students, and they get referred to us. We have one classroom now of that. They're self-contained. We have 6 students in that room right now. They're deemed the most serious, but they really aren't the most serious in our eyes. And this is Miss Kathy Crowder. She's one of my school counselors that's with me today. And next up is our performance-based program. Performance-based are students that need an alternate route to graduation. These are students that have the new requirement is that they have to have 13 credits, so be a junior status. We do get students, there is always changes, extenuating circumstances, so we might get a student that comes from out of state or out of district and they have 0 credits and they're 16 or 17 years old and there's no way for them to graduate from Henderson County High School. So we take those students. So it's not a hard and fast that they have 13 credits. But those students come to us again for an array of reasons. They might be a parent and they need an alternate schedule. We have a lot of anxiety coming out of COVID, and so those students need an alternate schedule to help. So we have students that need to work full-time to help their families. And so this gives them that opportunity. They have to be, depending on how many credits they have, they come for 8, 16, or 20 hours a week. We have required seat time that they are there. We have teachers available to help with that. It's an all online program, but we do like to have them in our building so that we can help them if they need it. They stay through graduation, and we have a wonderful graduation every spring at the Fine Arts Center, which we have coming up May 21st. Then we have our e-learning program. Sorry, there's lots. E-learning program, we have voluntary and involuntary. Our voluntary program came out of COVID for students that really thrived working on their own. And so those students work with Ms. Wolf she's our district director of pupil personnel. And those students, again, are grades 9 through 12. We don't have any middle schoolers in that program at this time. Those students work at home on their own, but they have access to a facilitator. So they have a teacher that is a certified teacher that's available to help them if they need it. Our involuntary program is students that are in trouble. So they might be multiple policy violations, and that prevents them from being at school, but they can come on school property. They can come get help at Central when we have an after-school teacher that works with them. Then we have our involuntary no property. Those are students that have weapons charges, which is on the rise, and possible other variables that prevent them from being on any school property. They stay with us. Again, they have access to a teacher, and they're all online, and they work through and hopefully graduate. And then short term is just another program that we have, and it's 3 to 5 days. Kids get sent 3 to 5 days. The school just wants them out of the building, but they still have the opportunity to get their education. So I spoke very fast, but are there any questions about Central Academy?
I just got a comment. It's kind of, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, I had the opportunity to take a young lady to lunch, and her whole thing was she actually worked, and she was a senior, and she had already been accepted to the University of Louisville,
Yes.
and she was going to be an attorney. Brilliant,
Yes.
brilliant young
Yes.
lady. Yeah.
Like Madison. Yeah. Yes. We are not just students that made bad choices. We have a lot of students that make a good choice for themselves and are able to thrive and move on. And we have a lot of students that are already signed up to go to college. They're already enrolled, well, not enrolled yet, but they've been accepted. We have students that are in trade schools. And so, we have it's a good opportunity for our community to help students that might not graduate.
And it's a good thing, too, because, everybody can have a bad day, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't necessarily make them bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time.
Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much. Next in your packet is some personnel actions from Parks. They're going to be doing some hiring. The 3 full-timers they'd like to hire are Haley Bonham at $18.70 an hour, Jeanette Murphy and Taylor Barkley at both $16.35 an hour, and both Jeanette and Taylor will be able to go to $18.70 an hour after passing a probation period. Haley is coming to Parks from the detention center. And we have a seasonal group of employees, what they call the summer 100-day employees for Parks that help during the summertime. Keaton Hertigan and Raven Hayes, both at $16.25 an hour. They're part-time, 16 hours a week. And the famous Dale Williams coming back at $16.25 an hour. I'm sorry I stole your thunder there, Casey.
You're fine.
Dale just couldn't stay away.
No.
And it's great to have him back. He's probably just going to be riding a mower, right?
Yes, he's going to stay at the fairgrounds and at the road department.
Good
and take
deal.
care of that for Misha and all the crew. Right now, we only have 2, and it's really rough right now, but we're getting ready to fix that, so.
Awesome. You can't help but like Dale. So, I summarized that. Anything you'd like to add?
Nope, that's it. Just need it quickly, because it's time.
Yep, it's time.
And I did have one of the employees go to the road department, got a CDL through the
Excellent.
program, and that's Langdon Childers, and he left Parks and went to the road department, so now he's a truck driver. And then one left for another job, so.
Was he a part of the CDL program that we started
Yes.
last year?
Yes.
Good, excellent.
Mhm. We
That's
actually
good
had
to
2,
see.
but one came from Recycle and one came from Parks, so.
Excellent. Okay. You hear those proposals at hires? Can you get a
Move
motion?
to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Thank you very much and good luck. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, as you know, we have been trying to dissolve the Tri-County Recycling Alliance that was started more than 10 years ago and for a variety of reasons never realized its full potential. And the Secretary of State was urging us to go ahead and finally make the decision between the Union County, Webster County, and the city to formally dissolve it, and we have accomplished that. Each fiscal courts and city commission voted for the dissolution, and we need a vote to divide the remaining funds in the checking account, which are just a few $1,000s equally among the participants, and that will formally end that relationship. It does not impact our local recycling efforts. It was an organization put together basically to apply for grants and for equipment and serve that purpose at the beginning, but the ongoing viability of a large multi-county recycling operation that would actually pay for itself never materialized. Butch was around for the foundation of that. And basically the market for recyclables ended for all intents and purposes. So we would like the court's permission to go ahead and distribute those funds, and I think Mr. Weeson wants to add something.
We want, just to clarify, Judge, we don't really need a court vote. It's been dissolved by the state attorneys dissolved it, but we wanted to make sure and come before fiscal court to let you know that it has been dissolved and to give the treasurer permission to cut the checks to the individual counties. The checks are coming out of the Tri-County Recycling Fund, which was a checking account set up separately for Tri-County Recycling. So it's not coming out of general funds or anything. It's just a separate fund from county funds controlled by Tri-County Recycling. So, but we are asking the treasurer, the court, to let the treasurer go ahead and divide those funds up between the 4 counties, well, 3 counties in the city.
Was that a 3-way split equally?
4-way.
4-way. The city, the county, Webster, and Union.
McLean. Saying it. McLean.
McLean
No.
had been in at one point, but withdrew several years ago. I don't know,
Four-
they
Four
weren't a
Star.
member, okay.
They were
Yeah.
4-star. They pulled out a 4-star.
Right, they had been a user, I think, of Tri-County Recycling, but never a member.
Right.
That's- Yeah.
So we have that question before us. Get a motion to approve the treasurer divvying up that money.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions of Kurt?
So, I guess we don't have a board or anything for this?
The county's,
The board had previously voted to dissolve and to recommend to the fiscal courts to do the dissolution. And this court had approved that
Correct.
3 months, 2-3 months ago, something like
I
that.
don't remember.
Less, yeah, in December.
Yeah, and so then it went through the process of doing the wind down on that board's part.
Okay.
Then it got the approvals of all the different members, and now it's to the point where it's all done except for the check cutting. Is that a fair statement,
Correct.
Mr. Weeson?
And everybody keeps the equipment they currently have, which was part of the list also.
so I have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next, you have in your packet information about an interlocal cooperation agreement between Henderson County Sheriff's Office and Kentucky State Police, and I'd like to ask Sheriff Soffer to brief us on this.
Good morning. It's an agreement with the Sheriff's Office and it's called DESI. It's a Drug Enforcement Special Investigative Unit of the Kentucky State Police. It allows one of our deputies to be sworn in as basically a trooper and give him the access to the resources that Kentucky State Police has, and also allows him to, if an investigation goes outside of Henderson County, he has the protection to follow that investigation wherever it leads. And it's a benefit. It's a big benefit to our organization.
There's no expense involved in this.
None, just an agreement.
It's participation. Any other questions of Chip?
Sorry, that participation will include assigning deputies to this, and they may do things outside of Henderson County as part of the overall thing. And there may be deputies and staff from other agencies doing this work inside Henderson. They operate together.
Correct. And we currently, the task force that we're part of with the city police department, they have 2 officers assigned to it. So it really solidifies that arrangement, especially for resources. That's the big benefit to local agencies.
So you've had the agreement in your packet. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, sir.
Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Good luck. Call Coroner Sheila Patterson if you'd like to brief us on your report.
Good morning.
Morning.
You can speak.
I can.
Voice is back.
I know, that's amazing. According to our stats, we had 11 cases for the month of March. 4 of those we used the van for, and we had 4 people that had to go and assist with removal of bodies. We have had 1 suicide for the month, which was a gunshot wound. We've had a total of maybe 1 overdose for this month. 2 we've sent for autopsy. We've sent 8, signed 8 cremations of cases that we've worked, and then 11 that were over and above the cases that we worked. And the state has asked that we start doing toxicology reports on all of our cases, because I think a lot of the drug overdoses may be getting missed because of, the accident or the circumstances for their death didn't really lead us to believe that they were a drug overdose. I think some of those are getting missed because we've not tested for it, and the information we gather is not always conclusive to point us in that direction. So they've asked if we can start doing toxicologies, which the state pays for. So.
And what does that involve? Just requesting it, or do you actually draw the?
We do. We draw.
Okay.
We draw blood, we draw urine, and draw vitreous, and then send that off. And it takes us usually a month to 6 weeks to get the reports back.
It sounds like fun.
Not necessarily.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Any questions of Sheila?
Kind of off the record, but maybe a small explanation or comments on indigent funerals. What would be the process if Magistrate Tompkins got a call tomorrow and somebody was requesting that? Just briefly, Sheila, I don't,
Okay. It is a process. We have to investigate and make sure that that person actually meets the standards for being indigent. They don't have any property to sell. They don't have any family who's willing to step up and pay for a funeral or a cremation. And we get them. Seems to be more frequent these days. But then once we get to the point of determining there's not any resources to be had, then I come and ask the judge if we can have money to,
cremation.
if we can get a cremation done. And a lot of times the families if there is family involved, then we get them to sign to give us permission to do that, because the crematories don't want the family to come back on them and say, well, you cremated my family and you didn't have our permission. So they do ask for permission from family if there's some available, even though they don't have money, and that happens.
Does the funeral home have any, a step or two in this?
There has to be a funeral home involved, but we have talked to Simple Cremation in Evansville, and they currently have the cheapest price for us to be able to do that if they're declared indigent. No one else has offered at this point, to do it cheaper than what they say they will do it for us. So.
I only ask this because I kind of got in one a couple of weeks ago, and I think I was just confusing people more than anything, so.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
a process. We have to do an investigation ourselves beyond the fact, that the person, trying to determine what the person died from. But then we have to determine whether or not they actually have resources to help offset that cost.
Well, this is on a Friday evening, and I went through all these steps trying to connect the dots, and I was familiar with it. And after all this, I called the nice lady. She lived in Union County. The body was at Witzel. I said, golly. Well, thank you, Sheila. I just wanted, we don't deal with that much, but it does come up from time to time.
Oh, it does.
And there are instances where a judge's approval is also involved, correct?
Well, when I talked to Mr. Gold about that in the last month, there is, at the very bottom of the list that's provided by the state of who can give permission, the last person on that list before going to the judge is me as coroner. And if we've done due diligence, then from what he's saying, that I can go ahead and sign it and process it. So
So
that
it
would
doesn't
be
have to go
helpful.
to,
Typically does not require.
have to go to the district judge?
Judges.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah. So I did talk to him about that.
that's good.
Hey, was there some legislation that they proposed that would maybe cut out a step or two of that?
There's some that was proposed, I don't believe it passed.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that it had, so.
Probably not.
So, one more question. So
That's fine.
if somebody passes and a family comes to you, do you have to open up an investigation at that point? I know you have to follow those steps to see if somebody's willing to pay all that.
Right.
Do you have to open up an investigation of how they deceased or
They died at home.
they died at home? Right.
Okay. If they've died at home, they should be calling 911, and then someone who responds will call us, because EMS will go for all 911 calls. So the coroner gets called for those calls because it's an unexpected death, and
Okay.
that falls within our jurisdiction.
And if they died, let's say at the hospital, at that point?
Depends on the circumstances.
Okay.
If they die within a certain time period from an accident, a fall, work injury, there's a whole list of things, that we can be contacted to investigate. But if they go to the ER and they die unexpectedly, that's part of the criteria as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was very helpful, though.
Yes.
You're welcome.
We forget from time to time, so
That's okay.
appreciate it.
Okay. Any other question?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Sheila.
Thanks.
Next, we'll call up Jailer Todd for an update on the detention center expansion project.
Good morning, Court.
Morning.
Sir.
We received, after RFP, two excellent folks from, one from Garmont and the other one from Codell on the construction manager. And I had our expansion team, we met and looked at it, and we've had some questions. So my recommendation today is I'd like to go back and meet with that team on Thursday and gather our questions and send out to these folks. And one question will be maybe a percentage rate. I know the RFP doesn't require it, but most time you pick one and you negotiate terms. So my recommendation is that if the court let me go back and review it and come back.
I think that we need to take all the time we need to make it.
Yeah, we
as-
want
as
a good,
good
I
as
mean,
we
like I
can.
say, they're both, it's kind of hard. They're both excellent, so.
Anybody have a problem with them?
So you're gonna take the questions to both companies?
Yeah, we'll communicate. Yeah.
I think it's important, whatever questions you ask or questions you answer from them, that all bidders
Sure.
receive the exact same information.
Yes, sir.
Any, it sounds like we are in agreement there.
Yep.
And you have a quarterly report before us.
And
Anything you
then,
want to add?
yes, sir, we got a quarter report. You can see in there, we had a lightning strike back in March. It knocked out our phone system and a 12-ton rooftop air conditioner and a couple of computers. Computers are repaired. We're temporary repaired the phone system. Hempel did, and we're going to receive some bids from them. We will go back with them. We're going to go with Hempel. It'll save us some money monthly, and the 12-unit air conditioner, we got bids. It's going to cost us around $30,000. Of course, I turned it in to KCO, and KCO's already ready to pay our checks, start paying. We're waiting on some the delivery dates. Then we had a 4-ton rooftop air conditioner in the medical department. It was giving us trouble before the lightning, so I wasn't very comfortable about turning it in to KCO since we was already having trouble. But we did get a tech grant for it, so that'll be paid for also.
Excellent.
So we're good there. Then everything else is just normal. We're refurbishing our kitchen. We bought new food tray servers. They were starting to look bad. We repainted the walls, recleaned it, so our kitchen's refurbished. Trying to keep it updated. New Genesis Jail Ministry Golf Scramble will be May the 4th. If y'all want to come out, set the bridge golf course this year. We tried to stay in Henderson. Chaplain Paul Brantley has done an excellent job since he's taken over. We've got probably double the golf team this year that we normally have, so we're in good shape there.
I really like the personnel report where we're only down 2 full-time employees
Going
across
down.
the spectrum. That's I can't remember the last time it's been that good. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. Pay and training, it keeps them and treating them correctly, and
Yep.
it
Any other
pays
questions?
off.
Thank you, Jailer.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you.
Todd.
You have the normal sheriff's report in your packet, unless Sheriff Stoffer wants to add to that. Entertain a motion to approve that
So moved.
regular report. Motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Gold, your report.
Judge, I've only got 2 checks today. The first is reimbursement from the state, $3,924.61, and jail fees, $75.50, bringing today's total to $4,000.11, and bringing the fiscal year total to date to $226,896.97. Thank you.
Move to accept.
Second.
You have a motion and a sec to accept the county attorney's report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Treasurer Ryder.
The transfers are as presented, and these are redistributing appropriations within the existing budget, adjusting these appropriations through the end of the fiscal year. There is one that is a little bit different from what you're used to seeing, and that is increasing the transient hotel tax appropriation line. This tax is actually a flow-through from the payers to the Tourism Commission through the Treasurer's Office. And there has been a payer that has just recently paid for 32 months, if you will, and that's the reason for the adjustment for this. Going forward, this payer, it appears that this payer will probably pay on a monthly basis, which will probably increase this budget in the coming year.
Any questions? Get a motion to approve transfers?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I do have claims. From the general fund to Magistrate Berry, $5,445.28. This is for the 2026 training incentive, is to be paid with the April 23rd, 2026 payroll, and is to come from the Magistrate's Training Incentive Appropriation line. To the Tourism Commission, $6,833.59. This is the pass-through of the funds that I spoke of earlier from a payer for the transit hotel tax for the reporting periods of April 2023 through November 2025. To Republic Services, $645.32. This is for monthly service and is to come from the Judicial Center Contracted Custodial Appropriation line. From the Jail Fund to Advanced Document Solutions, $945.82. This is for the monthly copier charges and is to come from the Data Processing Equipment Appropriation line. To U.S. Bank, which is the credit card, $3,855.58. The majority of this is to come from the prisoners' transport appropriation lines. From the opioid fund, the Center for Addiction Recovery of Henderson Incorporated, the STOP program, $35,000, and this is the fiscal year 26 appropriation. The Memorandum of Understanding addendum was approved at the March 24, 2026 meeting, and this is to come from the opioid funds distribution appropriation line.
Move to pay the claims.
Second.
Motion and a second, pay the claims. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you. Before we get to go to the county, a couple more financial items to be thinking about. First, I talked to Magistrate Southard about a really good project that's coming up. The City of Henderson's gas utility is intending to go and extend a gas line to Geneva, out to Geneva, and just beyond it. That's a great thing because for years and years now, folks out there have not had access to this and had to use propane tanks in their yard for that purpose, and this will give them an alternative option if they want it. But to get the project to Smith Mills, which also has a lot of people who do not have access to gas, the city asked us if we would be willing to fund the portion that goes from Geneva to Smith Mills if they funded getting the gas line out to Geneva to begin with. And we met with Magistrate Southard and the leadership of the gas department in the city, and they estimate the cost of getting natural gas from Geneva to Smith Mills at about $200,000, give or take. And for that price, I think it's a great thing for the people of the community. And Tim Southern and I thought it would be a lot more, actually, to be honest. And hearing that price, I'd like to just put on your radar that pretty soon they're probably going to bring an MOU to us to codify that, and if you're amenable to that, we'll discuss it some more. But I think for that price, the good that it will do for the people of Geneva and Smith Mills is certainly worth a great return on investment. And just want to give you a heads up on that, and we can talk about it again if you have any questions or concerns. But I think it's exactly the kind of thing we should be doing for people of the county, especially at that price. So heads up on that. We had a meeting yesterday with city officials who are discussing how we're going to celebrate the 4th of July this year, because obviously it's a big milestone, 250 years. It promises to draw more people down to the riverfront downtown, thousands of people, to help celebrate that milestone. And the city has been wondering how they could make it even more special this time around. And they have some plans for added attractions. And I've been sitting in, listening to how the county could help. Obviously, it's kind of their show, but I wanted to feel like we could help them a little bit. And right now, they're talking about asking the fiscal court for $10,000 to help double the length of the fireworks show, make it even more fun and lengthy. And so I told them I'd bring it back to the court. There will be a little bit of money left over. They're going to try to buy some commemorative trinkets. I don't know how many of you around 1976 when the 200th was celebrated, the 200th anniversary, and I remember going to parade as a kid and coming away with a campaign-style button that I think is still somewhere in my attic, but something along those lines for 250. So I'd love to have your opinions on helping the city with $10,000 towards the 4th of July celebration.
I personally think that we should contribute to that. I mean, it definitely going to be
We won't celebrate it again.
I think it's a big deal. It's 250 years. That's,
There should
we're
be-
still here.
Yeah, there should be really big crowds downtown for that.
I think it's a good idea.
Any questions about that? Any thoughts? If you'd like to go ahead and make a motion to move forward with that, again, the city will be bringing kind of an agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Yep.
Motion is second. Any other thoughts? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Along the lines of that, you know that we had a proposal brought to us by the Basket Volunteer Fire Department for a $10,000 grant for asphalt or concrete for their driveway around their new fire barn. We have about $38,000 and change left over in that account, out of which we spent money for the sheriff's body cams, about $61,000 if you recall, which leaves right around $38,000 and change left over. And as you know, we have tried to be as equitable as we can when it comes to our volunteer fire departments, and what we do for one, we try to do for all. And I know that there are lots of volunteer fire departments in the county who'd love to have $10,000 for whatever they think they might need. Hard to do, you know. So with that remaining money, I would propose that we simply divvy that amount up equally between all the volunteer fire departments. Basket will get some, but then so will the other 9 volunteer fire departments. And we'll kind of stick to our policy of trying to treat them all equally and fairly. And that would be what I would throw out there. Welcome your input.
Works for me.
Yeah, me too. It's fair, and it's a gimme. You know, we support them pretty well. So yeah, I like it.
And in the case, and it's Baskets in your district, obviously. As you recall, we were asked what our plans were, if any, to purchase the small parcels right next to the Basket ball field that belonged to Basket Fire Department. And you might recall we decided not to. We could do what we needed to do for them on property we already own. So that frees up that ground for Basket to sell and do whatever they like with that money, of course. And so even though they might not receive $10,000 or they wouldn't receive $10,000, there still is the opportunity for them to make enough money to help.
I think what we do for Basket, we have to do for everybody, for all of them. So got to be fair.
So if you have a motion to.
So move.
Second.
Let me do this for Angela. Butch with the motion, and
Do we know what that amount is, Judge?
it's going to be a little over $3,800 each.
Okay.
We'll have I'll send out the exact amount to you, but it'll be a little over $3,800, I think. Wouldn't you say that's about right, Brenda?
It's either 9 or 10 fire departments. Kurt and I were talking
10.
earlier, so it is 10. I divided it by 9. It's going to be a little bit less than it is going to be less than $4,000, about 3,800, 39.
So we'll be able to get that out to them by next month. And so I think I heard a motion in a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? I'm going to double check that. And here you go. Which
Okay.
made the motion? Right. So thank you, and we'll be working on that. Finally, as we get closer to building or beginning the building of the jail expansion, we've been in discussions informally, about how we split the cost of that up with the jail. And even though our reserves and their reserves are all kind of one big pot, I think they've taken pride in maintaining their own reserve to a certain amount. And so working with them is kind of a philosophical split of the total cost, certain amount coming out of our reserve, certain amount coming out of theirs. I think Bruce is amenable to that, and the percentage I think that would work for both him and us is 60% of the cost for the general fund reserve and 40% for the jail reserve. And they have plenty of room to handle that. We certainly do too. I think it would leave them in a comfortable position, Bruce, with remaining reserve, and we would have no problem with it. So when we get closer to that, I think that's going to be my suggestion, and I'd like you to think about that. If you have a better suggestion, let me know. But I think that'd be, at least to start with, certainly a good basis agreement moving forward on it. So.
And 100 beds too, Judge, generates a lot more revenue.
A lot.
700,000 to the jail, so it's a no-brainer. Yeah.
It is without a doubt one of the blessings of our county that our jail is self-sustainable, and is one of the very few in the state that's true. And there are very few counties that actually have jails that aren't experiencing a heavy burden on their budgets and their taxpayers to maintain jails. Many counties have closed their jails and take their prisoners to neighboring counties that still have jails and still pay the per day fee, per diem per county inmates, and that is pure cost. There's no chance to recoup any kind of revenue on that. And for us to be able to have a jail that pays for itself and is still here, I mean, imagine having a loved one who got into trouble and ended up in prison or jail, and you had to travel 2 counties away, 3 counties away to see them, or have their lawyer see them, or try to shuttle back and forth with court dates. It's much more difficult for families. So having a jail here in our county that's still viable is a blessing. For example, Union County no longer has a county jail. They take their inmates to Webster County, and even Webster County, has to hang on and devote a lot of money, I think, to their jail. So the addition will help create more beds for state and federal prisoners, which we get revenue from. So it absolutely behooves both the jail and our community to do the expansion and create more of that chance. Plus, like almost all jails in the state, we're overcrowded. And the state makes those remarks, but I think Bruce would say every county jail of any size also has overcrowding issues. So this would help alleviate some of that.
Well, the beauty of it, Judge, is it's not coming out of the general fund for us to support a jail, so.
It's just reserve, yeah, our reserve.
That could be millions every year.
Yeah. Yeah, just in case nobody heard that, we're not going to have to bond this. We're not going to have to take out loans to do this. We can pay cash, and that saves us quite an amount on interest. And Jailer Todd estimated that savings at about $500,000. So, yeah, so having financial strength allows us to do that and save money. So just be thinking about that 60-40 split. and hopefully we get that underway soon. Okay, if anybody'd like to say anything for good of the county, please feel free. Hi, Eric.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Just got a few things to go over. This past weekend was really busy for recycling solid waste. We did the river sweep down at the Henderson riverfront. We had 25 volunteers, including 7 children. 60 bags of trash picked up. I'd like to thank Kurt. He come and helped out as well. The basket cleanup, we hauled off 7.3 tons of bulky items, which is 14,640 pounds. 5 dump truckloads full of tires, and I'd like to thank Magistrate Berry for coming out there and actually, feeding the crew and actually stayed out there a couple hours to help, and it helped some of the citizens out there. And then the Saturday, we had the drive-through at the recycling center open. We had about 25 cars come through there. That's something a lot of citizens have asked about because they can't make it down to the recycling center during normal hours. So we started doing it one Saturday a month. If this goes well, this may become a permanent thing or maybe increase it to all day. And then, so our next county cleanup will be April 24th and 25th in Carding at Crawford Field across from the basketball court. We took a recycling trailer out there today and dropped it off. That's going to stay out there. That way the citizens of Carding can recycle and put it in that trailer if they can't make it to the recycling center. And then finally, we got a letter from the state of Kentucky about the annual report, and they was pleased to inform that we are in compliance not only with the reporting requirements, but also the implementation of our solid waste management plan. So everything's
Excellent.
good to go there.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Great job, Eric.
Yeah, great job.
Appreciate it.
The tires that were brought out there, remember we talked
Well, I
about that?
was talking to you prior, and I was talking to you also. I think for next year's budget, we're going to have to look at having the line items just strictly for waste tires, because we've used the 4,000 we get from the state. We've hauled off 2 loads. We're going to have to haul off another 2 loads, so we're looking at another 7,000 or 8,000 out of our budget just for tires.
Yeah, good thing out there was tires after tires coming in. I mean, which is good. At least they're not going
At
where
least
they
I'm not
shouldn't
having
be.
to pick them up off the side of the road somewhere. So.
It costs us money, but otherwise, who knows where those tires would end up.
Right.
And then illegal dumps, even though we've made some progress with getting some charges filed against people, they're back on the increase again. So gonna keep working at it, try to catch some more people, hopefully.
It's like trying to mop up the ocean.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Anybody else for good of the county? All right, we'll go around the horn. Master Southern?
Congratulations, Ella. It's that may be the best baby I've ever seen. It's a big deal to get picked from your school and to, well, it just shows you're doing the right things and trying to make your life better. It's a long, hard battle. Keep pushing forward. She'll be happy you did. Speaking about the gas, when we talked with the gas company, a couple of things that they brought up to us was the reason why they're able to expand is because of Pratt Paper. The economic development that the city of Henderson had has caused them to have more funds to be able to reach it, to expand out, which is good for, that shows you what economic growth will do for you. They also said they're looking at doing a grant program or not, so when you hook it up to your house, they'll have like a rebate thing, so when you have to have the line installed and things like that, it'll help with the cost of that. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody. And we was talking about the jail. The jail is if you go to these conferences that we go to for our training and stuff, the number one complaint in the state of Kentucky is how much it costs for jails to keep them up and afloat. So we're blessed to have the jail we do and the leadership at the jail to keep it profitable and where it's going. So it's we're very lucky to have what we have. We've had a phenomenal spring. I think most of the farmers are winding down for the first time. Hopefully, we won't have to do it again. But I appreciate all y'all's patience with us being in the road with the tractors and the trucks and well, we're just in the way. And I understand that sometimes y'all are in a hurry, but you seem to be tolerant with us, and I appreciate it very much. And that said, all's good in District 3.
Thank you, Master Tompkins.
Congratulations again, Ella. I know you guys have worked hard and have good help at home, and that support system's important. So remember that as you move forward there. You clearly understand that, the hard work when nobody's watching is equally, if not more important. So keep that mindset, and it'll help you go forward there. Again, you have such a sweet little girl there. I enjoyed getting to talk to her earlier, and so we're very proud of you. I know you guys are proud of her, as you should be, and good luck in your future endeavors. I'm going to tell you, Judge, the finishing up blacktoping along with correcting the base and the bridge on Mill Cates Road. Yeah, thank you. It was terrible. It is significantly better there. So thankfully that's done. And with the blacktopping there, that should complete. I mean, we've made a run of, I don't know, it's been a lot. I know we've gotten more gravel blacktop than I've ever seen in my lifetime there. So it's all been done well this time around. I've checked all of it, what I've seen in District 2, and they're doing a good job. So hopefully when they finish up here at the end of next week, we'll be complete.
Should it be done by the end of this week, you think?
This week or next week, depending. I hadn't heard from Nick, and he's out of town right now.
They're in my district right now, so.
Yeah. I think it's next week.
I think it's next week.
With good weather, it doesn't take them long.
Right. They move fast.
So outside of that, all good too, Judge.
Excellent, excellent. Magic Putman.
Thank you, Judge. Ella, we spoke earlier, and listen, I know your parents are proud of you, and you're on the right path for sure. But, there's a lot of hiccups in life as you go forward. There's always somebody trying to steal your joy. It just happens. It's just whatever it is. So you can be what you want to be, but you always be aware. Don't let anybody steal your joy, because you got a lot of joy right there in your lap. She's a beautiful baby. And congratulations again. And Judge, all is good in the fourth.
Thank you. Mr. Gold.
Congratulations again, Ella. And I've got a new buddy here, Freya. We are good friends now. Named after, I assume, the same name as the Norse goddess of beauty and war, right? So she is beautiful and fierce.
Only Steve Gold would come up with that.
Well, but the good thing is she's got a really good model. And Ella, somebody that is fierce and taking care of business and taking all kinds of care of great things at Central. So congratulations to you, and congratulations to you. You've got a great family. Do want to mention, Judge, an issue that some of you all know that I've been working on for the last few years. A kind of small, wonky sounding issue, but it was a issue that had to do with allowing county fiscal courts to take some of the same actions to collect taxes that cities can do. Sounds simple, but it took 3 or 4 runs at the legislature to make it happen. Representative Mary Beth Imes out of Murray had taken hold of this idea and had worked with her and KCO and the County Judges Association and Magistrates and Commissioners Association of trying to get this thing passed for about 3 sessions now. And it finally did get passed and got signed by the governor just the other day. So it's an opportunity that counties are going to have very soon to go after some of these dilapidated and abandoned properties that we have around, and I think it's going to streamline that process and make that a lot better. It was House Bill 600, and had talked with several of you about that over the years, and just think that that's a tool coming up, and as we move into the next budget session, we'll be talking about whether or not the fiscal court wants to set aside any money to go after some of these abandoned and dilapidated properties out there. I know a lot of us have talked about those over the years, what can be done. The issue for the longest time was that the return on investment wasn't there. The fiscal court would have to put so much money into it and never see any return. But now with this change in the law, that's going to change quite a bit. So there's some opportunities there that we can look at. So also, again, want to recognize Representative Imes for being resilient and taking several runs at this to finally get it past the legislature. So other than that, things are great in the county attorney's office.
Thank you. Master Barry.
Thank you, Judge. It's always tough going last. Everything's been said, but congratulations, Ella. We're glad that you're here. We're proud of you. I know your family, everybody's proud of you, so congratulations. Eric, thank you so kindly. I'll tell you, out there this weekend, I think everybody I talked to was so appreciative of having a place to take that stuff, and there was just everything coming in there. And thank your employees. They've done such a good job. They were friendly to everybody, seemed to be having a good time. If you can have that at work, they were. So they were good, and thank you so much. Pavement was done in my district last week. I went out and drove it yesterday. It all looks good. We were able to turn about a quarter mile of gravel into pavement where some people live, and they were tickled to death for that, and it really looks good. Thank everybody for being here. I think everything's good in District 1 right now. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, and congratulations, Ella. And it's interesting, my second or third meeting as judge, Mr. Gold slipped over the divider here, this bobblehead that's sat here ever since, 10 years. This is a Scott Rowland bobblehead, and I don't know why he gave it to me, but he thought I'd like it better than he did, and I thought it was funny enough, and enough of a Cardinals fan, that I've just left it here. It's been here the whole time, hiding away just as an inside joke, until today when it actually gained a use, and that was keeping Pry occupied, and she played with Scott Rowland bobblehead doll for much of the meeting. So Steve, it eventually became a good little diversion.
Foresight.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to tuck him back away. I'll bring him out in another 10 years. But it was fun to watch Pry play with that. You seem like a great mother, Ella, and it's all part of life, and I know your family is going to be very supportive, and I'm proud of what you're doing at Central, and probably y'all are going to join me at Lions Club, where we will get a kick out of introducing the Judges Scholar to the Lions. They really like that. We got to bring Pry, right? I mean, got to bring her, yeah, at this point. So we will see you in a little bit, and congratulations again. It's a big deal. So congratulations to you too. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Hey, Judge, just before we leave, I just want to recognize Chris McCormick. He's a big daddy in the labors, and I appreciate he's been coming to meetings here lately. But nice to see you again, Chris.
Welcome. Glad you're here. Okay, motion to adjourn?
So move.
Motion and second. All those in favor can leave.